I'm Jason with SJC Management Group. Today I wanted to talk about the difference between a quote-unquote licensed property manager and somebody that I like to call a qualified property manager. Here I'm speaking specifically about Washington State, which is where I'm a licensed agent and I'd like to think a qualified property manager. In our state, anyone with a real estate license is technically licensed to do property management, but that doesn't mean that they have any experience in it or specific training in property management. Some of the things that I think you can typically look at and know for somebody who is a qualified property manager is that, number one, they understand landlord-tenant law. They know the differences in the laws in the areas. Some of our cities have specific laws. Some of our counties have specific laws, and they stay up to date on these laws. They understand them and they have implemented them in their business. Number two, they understand trust account. They're holding on to the tenant security deposit. They're receiving their owner's rents, and they're handling these in the appropriate manner. They have actual trust accounts set up, and they make sure that they're audited, that every dime is accounted for, because this is other people's money that they're handling. Qualified property managers also have updated and detailed lease agreements. They've had them attorney reviewed, and this kind of goes back to staying up on the landlord-tenant laws. As they change, their lease agreements need to be updated to reflect those changes. They have a Rolodex, and if you're not old like me, you may not know what that means, but they have a pool of vendors who can perform work on the property, who are qualified, they have good rates, they have systems in place for emergency maintenance, 24/7 response. They really understand the maintenance of the property and keeping up and not allowing deferred maintenance to eat away at your investment. I think they also know really well how to market a rental property, how to make it look good, how to put it out on the right sites and get it in front of potential applicants. They also know how to screen the applicants well. They know what to look for. They know how to handle the screening, and they know how to pick qualified applicants for your home. People who are just licensed and maybe not qualified for property management, they're using generic lease agreements. Maybe they're printing it right out of the MLS, it's not updated, and it's not in beneficial nature for the client themselves. They don't know trust accounting. Maybe they're commingling funds with themselves, or they're not separating security deposits from owner funds. They don't keep up on changes in landlord-tenant law. They really only understand sales, and they're not specifically learning about property management and implementing that into any sort of business. They don't have online payments for tenants. They don't have emergency maintenance calls. They're just not set up with systems to handle your property in an effective manner. If you have any questions about this or would like to learn more about property management, please reach out to me. Again, I'm Jason with SJC Management.